Gunsmoke was the longest-running TV show of all time before The Simpsons squashed its record. It began as a 400-episode radio show that ended in 1961. It then became a 635-episode TV show that ran from 1957 to 61. Keep watching to learn about all the secret behind-the-scenes truths about Gunsmoke. Casting. Dennis Weaver was the first official member of the Gunsmoke cast. He played Chester Goode and won an Emmy for his work in 1959 before leaving in 1964. Marshall Matt Dillon was one of the most important roles on the show and the most difficult to cast. William Conrad had voiced him in the radio show, but was rejected because of his physical stature. Raymond Burr's physique also cost him the part, and John Picard's test in a love scene didn't win over the casting directors. 26 actors screen tested, but were all rejected. Western legend John Wayne helped James Arness land the part. The studio wanted John Wayne, but he declined and gave them his friend's name. Director Edward Ludwig warned James that it could hurt his growing movie career, but instead it launched him to stardom. Polly Bond was another actress to turn down a role in Gunsmoke. Allegedly, she was offered too much money to play Miss Kitty Russell and was worried it would cause problems in her marriage. She only appeared on screen 2 times, in the 1946 Western Abilene Town and the 1951 film Varieties on Parade. The fortune instead went to Amanda Blake. Milburn Stone came close to refusing the role of Doc Adams. He had a tumultuous relationship with the series director and writer Charles Marquis Warren. He demanded residuals, and that was enough to keep him on. Ken Curtis played multiple characters. The most common role was Festus Hagen. He also appeared as a Texas cattleman and replaced Frank Sinatra as the leader of a band in an episode in the early 40s. Buck Taylor also played another character before showing up as Newly O'Brien. Gary Busey played the last man to ever die on Gunsmoke, and James Arness and Milburn Stone were the only cast members to appear in every episode across all 20 seasons. Creating and naming characters. Dennis Weaver wasn't accustomed to playing comic relief. When he heard that Chester was supposed to make viewers laugh, he looked to his past for inspiration. He remembered a man from his time at the University of Oklahoma who had the thickest of accents. Chester used to entertain his friends by imitating him, so he decided to try doing it again. He also gave the character his signature limp, a choice he later regretted a bit. It was hard to do while filming every day. He'd even get letters from fans concerned for his health. The actors on Gunsmoke even helped name their characters. Doc Adams went without a first name for 16 years. The producers let Milburn make the choice, and he decided on Galen. It was inspired by Claudius Galen Gallienus, a famous Roman doctor who was also the personal physician to Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Star Trek connections. Westerns and sci-fi seem like they couldn't be farther apart, but that's not always true. 2 of the most popular shows in each genre, Star Trek and Gunsmoke, had more connections than you might think. For starters, they shared actors. William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, James Doohan, and DeForest Kelley all went over to Dodge City, Kansas. Arlene Martell, Mark Leonard, and Grace Lee Whitney, as well as Ricardo Montalban, also appeared on both shows. They also shared crew members. Jerry Goldsmith wrote the score for the first Star Trek film and composed music for 2 episodes of Gunsmoke. Fan campaigns. Shows live and die by the love of their fans. Campaigns by dutiful Gunsmoke watchers helped make it one of the longest-running shows of all time. Milburn Stone received letters from fans and actual doctors. They alerted him that the science and medicine his character used weren't accurate. It convinced him to do research to keep his character's lines correct. Amanda Blake got a life-changing letter after she left the series and her career stalled. A little girl had seen an episode and told her how much she liked the character of Miss Kitty and prayed that God would bless her. This touching message was just what she needed to keep going and pursue her dreams. James Arness's war injuries. James Arness was drafted for WW2 in 1943. He helped storm the Italian beach in the Battle of Anzio and took gunfire to his lower leg and foot and was discharged. He earned a Bronze Star and Purple Heart, a European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, 3 Bronze Campaign Stars, the WW2 Victory Medal, and the Combat Infantryman Badge. These awards weren't the only permanent record of his service. His serious injuries often made it difficult to walk. They affected his daily life and work on the set of Gunsmoke. But since the show had to go on, the production team often had to work around him. They'd schedule scenes where he'd have to walk long distances earlier in the day. That left enough time to give him a break in between. Mounting a horse got more and more difficult as he aged. Get out of Dodge. The origin of the phrase "get out of Dodge" comes from Dodge City, Kansas. It most likely began as a reference to Wyatt Earp's famous gunfight at the OK Corral. That fight may be famous, but the legendary series Gunsmoke is what made the saying popular. The show was set in Dodge City. Matt Dillon would use the phrase to warn criminals to get away from his town. Fans started mimicking him until it became a permanent part of pop culture. It has comics. Seeing a massively popular show like Gunsmoke branch out into other mediums isn't surprising. What is a bit of a surprise is they were popular in both the US and the UK. Dell Comics has licensed other properties in the past, including Gene Autry Comics and I Love Lucy. They eventually went to Gunsmoke. 5 issues appeared in newspapers for years, and even outlasted the series, going until 1978. The UK version was called Gun Law and ran in the Daily Express from 1975 to 78. It canceled Gilligan's Island. There are moments in life when you have to weigh 2 equally wonderful things but can only keep one. This was the case with Gunsmoke and Gilligan's Island in 1967. Actress Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann on the latter, said the network wanted to keep her show and move it into Gunsmoke's time slot. That was until the wife of the board's chairman came back from vacation and insisted Gunsmoke was her favorite show. They acquiesced to her decision, and it paid off. The show moved to Mondays at 7:30 p.m. and pushed Gilligan's Island out. It had been dropping in ratings before, but suddenly rocketed up the charts to number 4. Costar Feuds. Gunsmoke was always seen as a family show where everyone got along. That wasn't always the case behind the scenes. Milburn Stone hated James Arness for the first 3 years of the show. Milburn claims he didn't like his co-star's attitude. He would show up later or not at all and never apologize for his actions. He even once told him to his face that they were, quote, dramatically opposed. He threatened to leave if he didn't change his ways. That confrontation helped heal the relationship. James was humble and admitted he'd been in the wrong. From then, they worked well together. Changing openings. Gunsmoke got several different opening sequences. The original one showed Matt Dillon and an unknown gunman fighting. It was filmed on the same street as 1952's High Noon. James Arness once let the gunman win. No one saw the sequence as a joke anymore in the 70s. There was a major political focus on anti-violence during that decade. The producers thought it was inappropriate to show Matt Dillon getting into a gunfight before every episode, so they changed it to show Matt riding his horse. Now it's time to hear from you. Did any of these facts about the show surprise you? Let us know in the comments section below.